Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were planted outside the Republican and Democratic National Committees ahead of the January 6 Capitol riot, the FBI has finally arrested a suspect, closing an embarrassing chapter for the federal agency. Sources confirm with the Post that Brian Cole of Virginia was arrested Thursday morning and has been accused of planting the bombs, which came within feet of Vice President Kamala Harris and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. They traveled to and from the DNC headquarters on South Capitol Street on January 6. Helicopter footage captured by Fox shows FBI officials storming Cole's Woodbridge, Virginia home. Sources told the Post that investigators were looking into his possible connection with some form of, quote, anarchist writings or leanings, though specifics were not immediately known. One neighbor said the 30-year-old, who lives in the suburban cul-de-sac, was antisocial, shunned interaction, and doted on a pet chihuahua. Charges in the case have yet to be made public. Surveillance footage of the night of January 5, 2021, showed a person planting what investigators called, quote, viable explosive devices at the headquarters of the two major parties. The footage showed the suspect carrying a backpack and wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, mask, gloves, glasses, and a pair of Nike Air Max Speed Turf sneakers. The dangerous devices were discovered approximately 17 hours later, around the same time Congress convened to count the 2020 electoral votes, a session which was suspended for several hours after supporters of President Trump broke into the Capitol and stormed the House and Senate chambers. An explosive device with a timer and wires was also found near the Republican National Committee office on the same day. The FBI has long been castigated by lawmakers for the lack of progress in identifying a perpetrator. A report released in January of this year by Republican Reps Barry Loudermilk and Thomas Massey assessed that, quote, little meaningful progress had been made in the pipe bomb investigation, and charged that the feds had, quote, refused to provide substantive updates to Congress. The lawmakers' report added that despite the investigation having promising data and several persons of interest, the FBI began diverting resources away from the pipe bomb investigation by the end of February 2021. The absence of a break in the case, or even clarification on whether the suspect was a man or woman, led to fervent speculation, mainly among conservatives and even some Republican lawmakers, that the failed bombing was the work of a far-left terrorist whose actions would cause embarrassment to a Biden administration, whose Justice Department was pursuing charges against hundreds of January 6 rioters. Dan Bongino, who is now the FBI's deputy director, has even added to that speculation over the years on his popular podcast.
I told you when Donald Trump won, did I not? Go back and find the videos yourself, that there are going to be people in the FBI who are trying to protect their jobs. And they're going to start releasing information now about the bomber, which was an inside job, no question in my mind. It was clearly some Democrat operative trying to stop Republicans from questioning the January 6, 2020 election.
After arriving at the Bureau in March, Bongino made the case a top priority, writing on X last month, "We brought in new personnel to take a look at the case. We flew in police officers and detectives working as TFOs, task force officers, to review FBI work. We conducted multiple internal reviews, held countless in-person and SVTC meetings with investigative team members. We dramatically increased investigative resources, and we increased the public award for information in the case to utilize crowdsourcing lead."